Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Accolade Hunter, episode 168. That's right, I've been doing this show for 168 weeks, plus holidays, which we don't do the show, which is fine. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm your host, James, and joining me today is my co-host, Nova, but also two very special guests to the show. This is the first time ever we are having a Accolade Hunter interview, which is really, really cool. So we'll start with my two guests. Scorps, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Oh, hi. Hi. My name is Scorp. My real name is Jamie. I'm a concept artist on Stowe, and I am here to yap about spaceships.
Woohoo! And who could forget about our other special guest? This is Adria. Adria, can you introduce yourself to everyone, please?
Yeah, hello everyone. Super happy to be here. I'm Adria, lead concept artist in STO, and ready to yap as well.
Woohoo! Awesome! Right, Nova, have you got your script in front of you?
Of course I do.
Good.
What kind of question is that?
Then read your bit.
You went off a kind of a little bit.
I always go off
different
script.
than
It's fun. It's funny
Yeah.
to make you wonder when
Yeah.
your point to come in is. Over to you.
Remember, captains, if you're not a member of the Priority 1 Armada and want to chat with us in game throughout the week, then join our public Priority 1 chat channel by typing in the chat box /channel_join space Priority 1, that's all one word, and then hit the enter key.
And if that's not enough and you want to join an active community, simply head over to priority1armada.com. We have multiple Federation and KDF fleets for you to start your career in the Priority 1 Armada. Right, so let's get a show on the road. So we are having interview day. This is so exciting. I'm just like, yes! I love talking to the team over at Cryptic. So guys, first of all, I just want to say a massive thank you for both taking the time to come talk to us. You are so amazing for coming. We tried to make sure we didn't ask any questions off screen. There was like 2 or 3. So whatever you said, forget you said it, and we'll continue on this. So I get the privilege to get to ask the first question, and this is to both of you. What was the first piece of Star Trek media that made you say, I want to draw that? So Scorp, can we have your answer first, if that's okay?
Sure. I think probably First Contact. I've always been a big fan of the Sovereign class, and I used to draw with fine liner pens back when I was little and in school. I used to draw big top-down space battles with a lot of the ships from First Contact. But I think more recently, honestly, this is going to sound like a bit of a shit answer, but honestly, it's Stowe.
Woohoo!
Before
Yeah!
I came to work here at Cryptic, I was always massively inspired by Hector Ortiz's work, who for a very long time was one of the senior concept artists at Cryptic. Yeah, I've always found his work really inspiring. So yeah.
Yeah,
kind of a lame answer, but yeah.
No, it's not. That was like a perfect answer. No, Adria, you unfortunately have to top that answer. What about you? What was your choice?
Yeah, that's hard to top. My experience was a bit different. I think the first time I got in contact with the IP was when I worked on Star Trek Infinite, and we were under NDA. So I just got a brief, and it was like, make this illustration, of a away team in a barren planet with this prop and device. And I was like, that's cool. And only after we were introduced to it, I was like, this is so cool. I need to be part of it. So yeah, it was different, but I'm super, super happy that I got to continue working on it.
Woohoo! Yeah, I love Star Trek Infinite. I got to stream it when it came out. I was so excited. Right, and it's still sad that I was sad when it got cancelled, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I liked having my
Yeah,
Cerritos as my pre-order bonus. It was so cool. Anyway, enough of that. Nova, can you please answer your question, please?
Yeah, for both of you, if you could spend a day on any planet in the Trek multiverse purely for reference photos, where would you go?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Adria, would you like to go
Adria?
first for this
I
one?
have always loved Romulus. You know what?
Ooh.
Connected to the first answer, I remember getting probably my second brief to do an illustration there, and I remember like browsing around the references, and everything was so beautiful, like a mix between sleek and futuristic but organic. And I was like, this is beautiful. So probably Romulus. What about you, Jamie?
Well, I did have two answers for this. My two answers were going to
Oh.
be either Romulus or. So I guess I'm going to narrow that down to my other answer, which is Earth. I think it'd be really interesting to see how things have changed, and to see all of the historic sites and how those skylines and stuff have changed, and just see how humanity has evolved living with the knowledge that there is more out there and living amongst alien races and stuff. I think that'd be really cool.
That's so
That's
cool.
really intriguing.
Yeah.
That is such a good one. Right, so Adria, this question is purely for you. I'm a big fan of Star Trek Infinite, as I said. So you worked on titles like Star Trek Infinite as well. How has your personal relationship with the franchise evolved as you've moved into a lead role?
Wow, that's such an interesting question. I think it's become more personal over time. When I started working on Infinite, the 2022, I was 22 at the time, so I was trying to do the 100 illustrations we had to do and also manage our small concept team. So I feel like I was very, very focused on doing the job well, more than connecting with the IP. And now on Star Trek Online, I feel like I understand the visual language better, I understand the IP better, and I feel definitely like more connected to it. So I would say the lead role evolved as well with the franchise altogether. So yeah, it's been very fun, but I feel like I'm having definitely a better experience now that I know a bit more about the IP.
That's amazing. That's so cool. Right, Nova, you get to get asked the next question.
Yeah, Scorp, as someone who loves world building and apparently steampunk aesthetics, what was most surprising thing you discovered about the rules of Starfleet design?
Yeah, I guess so. Here's a bit of a self-read. I, from about 10, had books on how to design Star Trek spaceships, which tells you the sort of 10-year-old I was. So, I guess not much. What did surprise me about working with the rules is it's they're there to enable you to make better designs, right? The rules about nacelles have to be separate and there should be a saucer and stuff. They're great and they inform you, make some really iconic looks, but you've also got to know that they are not set in stone. And when those rules start getting in the way of you making a good design, then there is a time and a place that you can throw them out and just be like, you know what, this is not sticking to those rules, but it looks cool and we all like it, so that's what we're going to do.
It sounds like they kind of give you direction, but they also kind of don't. It's
just not getting bogged down in them, right? Like, I think so many people in the Star Trek fandom get so, I don't want to say nitpicky, because I think it's, some of those discussions are very valid, but I think you've always got to be conscious that, like, you can't always stick to the same rule set forever, or you're never going to get anything new. So that was a really fun thing for me to kind of learn and experiment with as I got to work on more and more ship designs.
That is so cool. What's the name of that book? I want that book now.
Oh, I think it's literally just called the Starship Designer's Guide or something. It's got a really generic name.
Hey, that means it's good, because it didn't have to think of the name very hard. Right, this question is for both of you, and it's a biggie. It's a biggie, but we'll see. So this is who is your favourite captain, and more importantly, whose ready room has the best interior design? So, Scorp, I'll make you answer this one first.
Sure. I very simple answer. Cisco is the best captain. I will not accept any other answers. And Janeway's ready room. I really like the big,
I love
vista
Janeway's ready
windows
room.
in Janeway's ready room.
It's
I
so
think
nice.
they're really cool for set moments and stuff.
Okay, Adria, same question for you. Who's ready room and which captain?
I hope someone in the audience agrees. Picard is my favorite
Woo!
forever.
Woo!
All
Trade.
time. In Pike's ready room from Strange New World. It's
Yes,
very cool.
it's so good,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I
Good
just
choice,
love
actually.
it. The red chairs. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Oh,
I forgot about
so-
Pike's
Yeah.
Ready Room. That's
Oh,
a really good
right.
choice, actually.
that is a good choice. And his hair, man. I love Pike's hair. Anyway, no.
Yeah.
Before I get talking about Pike's hair, can you please ask your question?
Actually, Pundus mentioned something. In art, there's always justification to do something if you have enough understanding.
Ooh, I
Yep,
like that.
Very
Right.
true. The pundus is wise.
Yeah.
We bow before you, Pundus. We bow.
All right, for both of you, is there a specific alien culture whose aesthetic resonates most with your personal art style? Let's go with Adria first.
Ooh.
Interesting. Ooh. I don't think I've seen anything that like directly mirrors my personal style, but I remember the first time I saw the Verizet Gardens in TNG, and everything was again so organic. I really like more organic things than organic, and everyone knows this. But the colors, the lighting, everything was so pretty. I feel like that's probably the closest thing that I've seen to my personal art style. Yeah, I really like the visuals.
Awesome.
I'd say probably it might be a weird one. I'd say probably Trill for me.
Ooh.
We don't really see much of Trill, but I always kind of got the impression it was a very kind of clinical and quite kind of science focused culture. And before I kind of realized I wanted to be an artist, I was really big into maths and physics, and I was thinking that was the career path I was going to go down. So yeah, like that kind of science informed art is always something that has appealed to me, I think.
No, that's so cool. What did you think
That's
of?
very cool.
What did you think of Trill in Discovery? Where we got, because they had quite getting going in the Trill tanks and things.
Oh, do I remember that?
No,
Yeah,
that's it.
they've
Hold on
visited-
my knowledge.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's cool. It's
Trill
totally cool.
Discovery.
Yeah,
I
Trill
don't really
is
we
in
kind of
the
just see the
32nd
like
century.
trees, right, in Discovery. I think we don't really see much of the like buildings.
No, we just see the symbiote tanks and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
don't you worry. I've not.
Like the caves.
Yeah, the caves. That's it. Adria's got it. The caves.
Yeah, the caves
yeah,
of Makala. I remember. Yeah, the blue one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought that to me Trill, it felt like it had a real contrast between this very kind of scientific upper class and then this kind of sort of sacred relationship with these symbiotes. And I always thought that was a really interesting contrast of how you have this culture that seems so quite, scientifically advanced and, but then they have this dependency and they have this kind of reverence of these symbiotes. I just thought that was really interesting.
No,
So, yeah.
it's really cool. It really is. Right, Nova gets to ask another question.
Okay, now we're going to move. The first few questions were sort of your personal logs, your history with Trek. And we're going to move more onto your professional roles. Adria, as concept lead, how do you balance maintaining the Trek look with the need to create something visually fresh for a game that's been running for over 15 years?
Ooh.
Oh yeah. I think we really joined, Jamie and me, and probably a big part of the art team. We joined at a point where the STO team had already done an amazing job expanding the universe. We had new species, new worlds, everything, like the arcs, everything was great. And the balance, I think, like something that Phil that was here a couple of weeks ago, he always reminds us that even though Star Trek is an IP that has a very established like visual language and visuals and art, we shouldn't be afraid to push it, which is a bit of what Jamie was saying right now. Like if you know the rules, you also know how to break them and when, right? And how much you can actually push them. So I feel like breaking certain patterns definitely helps to keep things fresh on a game like STO. Definitely.
It's a fine line to walk, right? Like, we always want to be faithful and authentic, but also trying to come up with those new ideas that, you know, make STO feel different but part of the same world.
I like that. You could put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And get that as a shirt for the concept team.
Yeah, we need
Yeah,
to make
just
that
the whole
merch.
concept team.
Yeah.
You got to do it now. It's happening. It's happening. Right, Scorp. This one is for you. So the question we have is: you've been described as an awesome adapter of existing designs like the R or Juggernaut. What is the first thing you do when you receive a 2D reference from a show like Lower Decks?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Lower Decks is always tricky. Usually we don't get models directly from Paramount. Sometimes we do, but Lower Decks, usually the first thing we do is we find all the angles of a ship, and then we will first is just try and work out what they've kit bashed. So taken different parts of existing ship models and smush them together in new ways. So the first part of the process is kind of picking that apart. On the vertical Romulan warbird, like that was part of a Deridex and part of a Romulan shuttle, and it's like two completely mismatched sizes that they've just smushed together. So our job is kind of to make those feel cohesive. For stuff like the Ariel Dreadnought, that's kind of something we almost have to start from scratch, right? Like the what we see in this show is so kind of low detail that it's like, well, okay, we've got to fill in a bunch of these gaps. It's a sort of, like I'd say, first thing is identifying what parts of the ship we can use. I'd say also part of that process is identifying how much more we could push it, right? Like I think the kind of latest one we released was the Orion Orchid, which Gokhan, another of our concept artists who is unfortunately not here today, he did an amazing job making that feel so much more kind of real and really kind of pushed the barrier for where we, I think, previously thought we could kind of draw that line in terms of authentic versus fitting in STO. So personally, I'm kind of hopeful we'll get to do more stuff that's a bit more like the Orchid and kind of feels a little bit more over detailed and really kind of reshaped to fit in with STO.
That's perfect. That's an amazing answer. Thank you so much. Right, Nova, you get to ask the next question.
Adria, what does the concept lead workflow look like? How do you guide a piece from a black and white sketch to the final color script?
I think we tend to have and keep actually a very structured pipeline within the concept team. Obviously, every discipline and task is different. It's not the same to work in a shape that working on a key art or a prop, but we usually break everything into stages. So we start with like sketches and rough explorations. Doesn't really matter what you're doing, but we almost usually start with that all the time. And in my case, that I'm doing mostly illustration, after that, after composition and the light is approved, I move into color explorations to just explore palettes, maybe lightning, and any other things that I want to translate to color. And only after that, we move into the polishing stage. So I think we really keep it very clean. We're like very, very respectful of every stage, and we know when to give feedback and why. And we also know we can go back, right? And like undo things if we already did them. But yeah, we try to be very neat with it, and obviously as well with the kickoff, which is like probably one of the most important things when you started something, to have like a very clear and intentional kickoff, right? So you know what you're doing, and it makes the whole process a lot more smoother. So yeah,
That's more or less what any piece of artwork goes through. Is this stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 kind of
yeah,
format?
exactly. Always every artist is different, but we try to keep it that way, so it's easier to review, to track, to follow, and so far it has worked. So yeah, everyone kind of like
Yeah.
puts their own personal touch to the process, but we try to respect usually the big stages. So yeah.
And like your
Awesome.
responsibility as well is to make sure that the rest of us are all sticking to that, right? Like, yes, you do it
Yeah.
yourself, but you also have to manage, myself
Yeah.
and Duncan and make sure we're not going
Yeah,
missing.
guys, don't hate me for that, because I'm an artist myself, so
Well,
it's not
we
nice
don't
to
hate
say,
you. We
hey,
rely on it.
we need to wrap this up now. So,
Is it
so it's
sometimes
fine.
like
Everyone's so understanding.
is it sometimes like managing a herd of cats where they're off trying to do their own thing, and it's like, okay, guys, we gotta
Right,
focus and get this finally
right.
through.
And that's so nice about art. I don't know, Jamie probably also thinks the same, but in the art team, everyone is so different and everyone has their own process and personality. So you usually have to find that middle ground, right? When you're still respectful of everyone's process, but at the same time, try to, bring them home if they're, going in a different direction. So yeah, it's very nice. It's very fun to interact with them always.
Awesome.
Perfect. Well, I get to ask the next question. This one's for you, Scorp. This is coming from an illustration background. What was the biggest technical hurdle you faced when starting to design specifically for 3D game models?
Yeah. So I guess kind of since I started doing illustration seriously, I did a degree in illustration, and that was kind of when I hit my like, okay, I want to do this for a career. I've actually always kind of used 3D. Like since I first started doing this, I've always been using 3D in my concept art. So the actual 3D, that was fine for me. But I guess the main thing about when you move out of education or you move out of doing it as a hobby and you move into doing it as a full-time job is you've got to learn how to cut as many corners as you can manage and keep up that fast pace of work, right? Like in university, you kind of set your own deadlines. In the real world, you've got to do whatever you've got to do to get something done. So that was kind of the biggest challenge because 3D is not quick usually. So that was definitely a challenge when I first started is learning how to keep that pace.
Have you found that over time working for Cryptic that your pace has got like you like really stressed like last minute deadlines, but now you're like I'm pretty good speed
so
now.
like I first started, I think I was kind of 4 or 5 weeks to do a ship. I think that's kind of come down to usually about 2.5, 3 weeks.
Nice.
So yeah, with Adria and Phil's guidance especially, I think I've managed to make that process a lot more efficient.
Perfect. Right, Nova, you get to ask the next question.
Okay, Adria, you have a background in color key art. I read that and I go, what is color key art? So that's not the actual question that's here.
Right.
But first of all, what is color key art?
Color key art is a discipline within the art department, but it's more common in animation. So I come from the animation industry. This is my second game title, but I was doing animation before this. And a color key artist is the person that has to design the color shifts and the lighting in a short or a movie. It can be 2D, 3D, but it's usually the person that has to set the pace and work with the lightning team to indicate why we're using this lightning, what do we want to achieve with it, and what we obviously want the audience to feel. So it's a very I would say it's not common, really. Like nobody thinks of it sometimes when you're discussing animation roles, but it's been very, very fun. I've done a bunch of color scripts for a lot of projects that I'm very proud of. So yeah, I think it's definitely one of my passions, aside from concept, obviously. It's color key art.
That's cool.
It sounds like it's a cross between the artwork part, and then
Mhm.
lighting department, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, as a color artist, you start in the art department. So my work is always 2D, which means I need to paint the color keys and present them to the director or art director. And then that document with all the sequences and shots is used by the lighting department. So yeah, somehow it does finish in the 3D and composite and area, right? So yeah, it's more like a document that you can use in a lot of areas of the short or the movie. Yeah.
Okay. The actual question that they posed here, of course, I
Yeah.
need to figure out what's this other thing. The actual question that they posed: how do you use color theory to tell a story
Mhm.
within a single environment or a ship interior?
Oh, now I want to know what
Yeah,
color
that's a
theory
valid
is.
question. Correct.
Answer the question and
A
I'll
mini
ask that one in a
quest.
minute.
um, I think we use it a lot, especially for illustration. But we also use it in environments, in mood pieces, and concepts. Like sometimes we create paint overs, like we did with season 35, for example, to explore atmosphere, to explore the mood, the lightning. And that kind of like sets the tone, the emotional tone of the environment and the space. So yeah, I think color really plays a big role in achieving that. Even if it's in an illustration in a 2D piece or 3D environment, it's like, I would say it's a key part of it. Yeah.
What is color
Yeah, the
theory?
environment that you guys created for the last episode, Curse of Phrygia,
Mhm.
amazing.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh,
I literally
yeah.
got so scared. I yeah.
That's so cool. And the environment team did such a great job translating the 2D concepts that we did, and that's the coolest part, I think. Like when you draw something and then someone brings it to life, it's like, what? That's
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
It exists now. So yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, that was such a like head rush for me when I first saw one of my concepts brought to like I was like, oh man, I've got like power. I can like draw something and someone make it.
Did it bring tears to your eyes? We was like, that's so beautiful. I'm so good at my job. Right. So this
Yeah.
question is for both of you. How much back and forth is there between you two during the early blue sky phase of a project?
Oh boy. Um
Mm.
a lot, I'd say. Um yeah, it's early days of ship concepting especially. There is a lot of conversation that we have between me and Adria, between myself and Phil, between me and Thomas, between ship artists, between design. Like, there's a lot of moving pieces that have to kind of come together, and we have to agree on when we first start designing a ship. Um, yeah, and then Adria is thankfully the one that kind of wrangles us all into one meeting to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot is my answer.
Perfect. Adria, what about you? Is there a lot back and forth?
Yeah, no, as Jamie said, for ships, definitely. I feel like there are more stakeholders involved, so the conversation tends to be a bit longer. For the rest of the concept pieces, I feel like we do have a back and forth, but it's usually more internal. Like I feel like me, Jamie, Gok, and Phil can talk about it, but we also tend to agree a lot of the
Yeah.
times. So yeah, definitely there's back and forth, but I feel like we really refine the ideas together, so it's a bit easier, you could say. But yeah, it's always important to open the conversation. You get to catch different things at different stages, so it's good to get
Yeah.
feedback. Always.
Like a lot of concept, a lot of concept does need input from designers in terms of considerations for this needs to do a certain thing in gameplay, but also a lot doesn't, right? And that's where you and Gokhan especially can be really efficient about it and just be like, yeah, we're gonna do this.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, we're just doing it, right? It's like, but we haven't presented it. We're just doing it. I know they're gonna like it. So yeah, it can work like that.
That's awesome. Right, we're going to move on to sort of engineering and design, that sort of deep dive. And Nova gets to ask the first question to you, Scorp. So over to you, Nova.
Scorp, you worked on the Hope class remaster. What if a Vesta but round ship? That is a very interesting description. What is the challenge of updating a fan favorite design for the modern Stow engine?
Okay, well, firstly, Vesta but round. That's like Samus Morphball type shit. That would be cool. Anyway, yeah. So, updating those ships is always more challenging than people think, because the thing that we are constantly weighing is what parts of a ship are the parts that give it its character, and what parts can we kind of axe and redo in the hopes of making something that players will like more, or that will feel more appropriate for whatever era we want to remaster a ship into. And it's not, I'll be honest, it's not something I think I always get right. I think that is such a difficult balance to strike that until you see something kind of in engine and you see how it kit bashes with all the other ship parts, that you kind of really get a sense of whether you've hit that mark of like, okay, this kind of has the same energy, everything meshes together in the same way, or oh, like that's not what I was expecting it to look like. That's just kind of how ship goes sometimes. You really sometimes don't get a sense until they're done. So as a concept artist, it's kind of my job to kind of guess what something is going to look like in engine, in game, and do my best to predict how that's going to come out. But like, yeah, there are definitely ones where I've finished a remaster and now 2 years later I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that again. The first ship I did for Stow was the Horizon remaster with its big goofy fishbowl. And I wouldn't change the fishbowl, but I would absolutely go back and do so much of that differently now. Yeah, it's figuring out what to keep and what to change.
It's just another ship. You could just put it in the C-store with all the changes you want to make on it. Shh, don't tell anyone.
Yeah, I'll just put that on Ramon and Pundus. Just make us a quick new skin.
There you
Slip
go.
that in somewhere.
There you are. It's all yours. All right. Okay, Adria. In the heart of the matter Q&A, you mentioned hidden clues in the art. Ooh. How do you decide which Easter eggs to tuck away for eagle-eyed fans?
That's usually, I would say, a very collaborative process, especially with narrative. Flo, our senior narrative designer, she's amazing at that. I feel like as artists, we're often focused on making something very, very good and make it look pretty and make it look as we want it. But it's also great and fun to have someone, right, that's working in your team to say, hey, we can do this, we can add this clue, we can add this in the text. It's very, very fun. And I would say it's definitely an open collaboration every time we're doing an illustration or a lore blog or anything. So yeah, it becomes like a little reward for players who are paying attention, obviously. So it's very fun.
Woohoo!
I'm gonna have to look for these hidden clues.
Yeah, right.
Look everywhere. They are there.
It's so impressive how quickly the Lore Hub channel in our Discord gets.
Yeah.
Blows up like.
Yeah.
I saw it. I saw the thing.
I know you spend so long putting them in there, and then within like 15 minutes, someone's got them. Like, all right.
Yeah.
We tried so hard, guys. We've gone a long way getting from there to here. I had to get it in the show somewhere. Right, Nova, you get to ask Scorp the next question.
Scorp, for the Proxima class refit, you provided concept art for specific update areas. How did you decide what parts of a legacy ship needed a 25th century facelift?
Yeah, usually when we're looking at kind of porting ships from older media into the game, we're looking at what isn't on those ships. Like we're looking at, what decals aren't there, because so when you're working on a budget, right, you try to texture a 3D model with as little a small amount of an image as you can, which usually means you kind of you will, we call it unwrapping. You will basically unwrap parts of the model over the same image over and over again to get kind of large tiling textures, like ship hulls, which means that sometimes they're missing like surface details, right? If you look at going for the Proxima, if you look at like sort of TOS ships, they'll be missing those, kind of some decals on the surface. They'll be missing a kind of few of those smaller details. So that's something we look at. We also look at what parts of the model are kind of low detail by necessity, right? We're looking at, we're trying to figure out, did they make a model that looks like this because of limitations of technology and time, or was the authorial intent for that to feel more polished? And if they had had more time, more budget to put into these things, would it have ended up looking different or more refined? So that's always a kind of hard line to balance. Yeah, like it's just trying to figure out where those areas of authorial intent lie, because that's a really important thing for us, is making sure, even if we're not always 100% accurate with things, it's making sure they feel believable and authentic.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Adria, when designing a brand new alien species or ship from scratch, do you start with the silhouette or the mood of the culture?
That's an interesting question. I would definitely love to design something from scratch. I believe that for the past couple of seasons, we have mostly been building and creating work on the work of incredible people, like Jamie mentioned, Hector Ortiz, super talented, and we were like, the challenge was to adapt, right? We're trying to adapt to the existing visual language that he created. So that was fun, but even then, I would say you start with silhouettes, maybe color as well, so you can start comparing. That's a really effective way to see if you're heading in the right direction, right, of the visual language that has already been established. Yeah, it's very fun. I'm looking forward to that. I hope we get to do that soon.
Awesome. Nova, you get to ask the next question.
Score, what's your favorite kit bash moment? Yeah, where you took the elements from different eras and then made them feel like they belong together.
I don't usually kit bash from different eras. That's a pet peeve of mine. I don't do that. If I'm kit bashing, I will always try and pull from ships of the same era. Unless we're super early on and I just need like a basic shape of something. Pretty much always I'm conscious of not doing that. But I think there is a concept for a ship that I've done, which is the Olympic Beta. We've got a remaster for that concept. Thomas has said this already, so I'm not.
You're okay to say this. This is fine.
I'm okay to say this. Thomas has said this already. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but for me, it kind of hits the spot that you're asking in this question of what I think, of what my favorite mapping of a kind of unexpected era or style onto something else is. And I'll leave it at that.
That's so cool. Okay, so no Enterprise J / regular Connie coming like with a giant saucer section and a teeny tiny body.
I have very mixed feelings about the Enterprise J.
Oh, what?
Thomas will be unhappy with me for that, but
oh, it's fine. Everyone else hates my favorite ship. It's fine. It's okay. I'm not sad.
It already has a humongous saucer with a tiny body.
I'm like, can you imagine even teeny tinier body on it? I'm just saying. The J is the best Enterprise.
Basically.
Yes, Pundus. Yes, Pundus. Woohoo!
All right, you got support.
It's okay. I got support from me and Pundus when I was lucky enough to interview him. He revealed to me that he loves the J2, and we became J buddies. Love you, man. Right.
Why have you done this? Unbelievable.
The J sucks. No, chat. Stop it. Stop it. No. So, Adria, you've talked about diversity in illustration for Star Trek Infinite. How do you carry that mission for infinite diversity and infinite combinations into a character concepts for Stowe?
Wow. Yeah, diversity was something really important to us on Star Trek Infinite. Working closely with narrative, with Flo again, we were very intentional and thoughtful, I would say, about the visibility that we wanted to bring into the game and the illustrations. So I would say it was a very nice and rewarding process, because it really made me realize how much influence you can have as an artist, power, if you want to call it that way, especially in marketing art, right? Like art for IPs, um, where historically, right, the focus has not always been very diverse. So being able to shift that when you're creating a piece of work is just feels very meaningful. So it's been a great experience, and we're obviously trying to keep doing it in STR as well.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I want to add, like,
Mhm.
when I came to work on Stowe as a queer artist, like openly out, it was, I was definitely worried, right, about how it's going to be perceived. So yeah, like, just as a bit of a PSA, Adria and Flo have been phenomenal at making people feel included. And so you're doing a good job as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, we love you, Scorp.
This just makes me so happy, guys. Also, when you see Flo, tell her I said hi. James said hi. Just one sec. Right.
Absolutely.
So Nova, you get to ask the next design question.
For both of you, form follows function is a huge Trek rule. Do you ever have to fight for a design choice that looks cool, but it might not make scientific sense in universe?
Do you want to go first, Jamie?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd say, kind of, I don't say all the time, but a lot of the time, yeah. Like I kind of touched on earlier, those rules are there they're there to inform you to make good designs. They're not supposed to be the be-all and end-all that you have to stick to religiously. I think, yeah, kind of like I said earlier, it's so tempting to get into arguments about how the kind of pseudoscience of the setting works. I think my kind of personal take on it is it's more fulfilling to sometimes just accept things and build on, kind of contribute more to a setting rather than saying, well, actually, that's not how that would work. I think sometimes you get more out of saying, oh, that's new and different. Here's the kind of fan suggestion I'm going to make for why it works. And that's one of my favorite bits about designing ships, is you get to see the fan theories about some of them. Because I used to do that, right? Before I became a dev, I used to be like, oh, that ship looks like it could do this. So that's always a really kind of endearing part of finishing a ship and seeing it end up in the game. Yeah, I think that's kind of my favorite bit about bending form follows function for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
You, Adria?
I once heard that, like, usually, best designs and concepts find a way to do both, like good form, good function. I just remember just about functionality that very recently I was designing this prop that attaches to a wall, no spoilers, and I had feedback from one of the Corby, our lead environment artist, and he was telling me, this is so cool and you did a great job, but it doesn't look functional because how does it stick to the wall? And I was like, Corbin, sci-fi, like it just sticks.
It just sticks. Gosh, guys, why are you asking me this question?
Right, like, oh my god. But no, I did end up adding the functional part of it. You can get away with everything. So yeah, but that's a good example I can think of. Like, it's always good when you get more eyes and they can just point at things that look cool but are just not functional. So yeah.
Well, chat just says, just say magic.
Exactly.
It's imagination.
Yeah. That is usually my answer. If
Exactly.
people get nitpicky with me, I just say
I would
it's
say
space
that
magic.
next
It
time.
works.
Look, we have
Exactly.
space wizards in Stowe, okay? Look, every science player is a space wizard. Just accept it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
It's magic.
Another question for both of you. Which is harder to concept, a sleek Federation ship or a jagged organic alien vessel? Or you could change this, or a sleek internal interior, or like an organic environmental one. Which is harder?
Hey Trey, you can go first.
Mm. Okay. Me, I haven't worked on ships yet. Hopefully soon. But I feel like an organic design would definitely come more naturally to me. Um, Sleek Federation look might be a bit more challenging for me because every proportioning line, everything's so precise that I feel like any mistake, it's very noticeable in a Federation ship. So I would probably go for some organic alien ship to try first.
No, that's good because my answer is the opposite. So we make a nice middle ground.
Let's go concept here.
Yeah, I kind of touched on it earlier. Like, yeah, my background is kind of more science focused. Like, I was big into physics and maths, and I got into doing what I do now through graphic design. I had a graphic design as my passion era. So I got very used to doing, working very precisely and doing a lot of clean lines and kind of working maths into stuff. So for me, that comes a lot more naturally. I struggle to make things feel kind of organic and kind of having the motion that Adria puts into a lot of her concepts. So yeah, for me, Federation definitely.
Love it. And for me, the answer is draw a squiggly line. That is that is that.
Hey, that's how they all start. That's how every concept starts.
Right?
There you go. Nova, what about you? Squiggly line also? Or are you more of a
Either
circle
one,
person?
I suppose.
Wait, would you draw a circle first?
I don't know. It might depend on what I'm doing.
Right. Let's.
I haven't done a lot of drawing. Now, sure, I've done more, color stuff in, but not really.
Okay, stop
drawing.
showing off, Nova. Not all of us can color things in. Gosh, go on. Supposed to agree with me here. Make me look bad.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay.
You win, James.
We're moving on to sort of mission highlights. So your sort of favorite projects. Nova, you do get to ask this question first.
Yeah, Adria, out of all of the illustrations that you've developed for Stowe, which one has felt the most cinematic once it's been implemented in game? This is a
Ooh.
good question.
Yeah, it's a very good question.
Yeah, it's a good one. I will say definitely key art pieces. Maybe season 35 and 34. Those felt very cinematic to me. I'm really proud of how those turn out. It's always very exciting to see them once they go live. So yeah, those are my favorites, I would definitely say.
I agree with you there. I think the one you did for 35 was just
35 was fun.
like I know it was one of those ones where we saw the roughs and I was like, I want all of these. I want these to all be shared.
It's so hard to pick sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Because you have like a couple of favorites yeah. Or sometimes you have a favorite like sketch, and then let's say maybe Field Thomas or the concept team feel different and they want to pick another one that maybe has a different look or just works better. And when you're like fixated in one option, it's like, no. But at the end, I'm very happy with how all the key arts have turned out. So yeah.
So that was the last two episodes, Best Laid Plans
Yeah.
and Phrygia. Okay.
And Carson Phrygia, yeah.
It's so creepy and I love it.
Oh, thanks.
So, Scorp, what was your I've made it moment at Cryptic? The first time you saw one of your concepts flying around in game and were like, I did that. That was me.
Yeah, I think I made a Blue Sky post that was pretty much exactly what you just said. Yeah, it was like, oh, that's weird. I kind of still have those. Like, it's a very surreal experience for me. Like I came out of university. I did a year of freelance, and then very fortunately I landed this job, which was I'm going to quote what I said in my interview here, my dream job. So it is weird every day. Yeah, pretty much every day there is something small that gets me, and like, this is weird. I shouldn't be here, but I am, and I'm very fortunate and glad to be.
That's awesome. I remember at university at drama school, I was sat. But I don't know if you guys ever had the Star Trek Line app that they used to exist, where you could customize your ship. It was a whole thing. It was really cool. So there I was sat with my little app and editing my my tier 5 Odyssey class, and one of the guys we were doing a show walks up to me and it's like, cool Star Trek Online ship. I was like, what? You play Sto 2? It's like, this is my max level character, and it's like, dude, level's gone up. It's max level's like 61 now. I'm like, what?
Oh no.
So there I was with my level 50 character, like, I need to get back on Star. And for the next 2 weeks of rehearsals, I just kept coming to him and being like, I went up a level. Look.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, James, I'm supposed to be rehearsing the show, and it's like, I don't care, I want to play Star. But yeah, oh my god, dream straight out of university, and you get that. That is incredible. That's so cool.
Enjoy it.
Thomas Moroni needs to get a lot of credit for that. I spoke to Thomas, a handful of times before that, and I basically just said it in my, shy student voice. Hi, if you ever have a job on Stowe, could I have it? And he goes, we're full, but if there's ever opportunity, get me in mind. And he, because this was during the first transition to Decca, he recommended me to the then art lead for Decca, August Hansen.
That's
and
amazing.
Very thankfully, August listened to him, and that's how I got this job.
Woo!
So, Thomas,
Wonderful.
Big love for Thomas all around here.
We do love Thomas here. He is so awesome. Nova, you get to ask the next question.
Dira, is there a specific environment in game, like a social hub or a mission map, that you feel perfectly captures your vision as a lead artist?
Ooh.
I have to say, again, season 35 because of Phrygia episode. But I think it's because a lot of the concept work that we developed was around 2024 when we just joined the Deca team. So by the time it made it into the game, I feel like it felt very, very close to what we had envisioned at the beginning. It's probably my favorite mission map right now because I feel like, as I said before, it really captures this dark mood and tone that we were aiming for. So yeah, I think it looks very, very cool.
That it is, both the TFO and the mission itself.
Right.
And this would be a wonderful addition, I think, to add on to the Halloween event.
Oh yeah, you guys should totally do that.
I see it.
And I've just got I've just got this vision of next Halloween, me just being like, turn all the lights off in the flat, right? I get all the guys together at Accalade Hunter, and we just play it with the sound like really, really high, and I've just got my headphones on, and I'm just like creepily going through. I remember at university we were playing, me and my friends were playing, I can't remember what it was. It was a Resident Evil game, and we were like, oh, we're gonna turn off all the lights, and we did that for 5 minutes and gave up because it was too scary. Look, but you know I'm a wimp, okay? Look, I've not like,
It was so entertaining to join you when you streamed the Curse of Phrygia on Accalade Hunter when it first came out. I had played it I think earlier in the day, and as my credit for that event. And so it was fun just to sit back and watch James's reaction to stuff on stream.
Look, okay, I'm a wimp, okay. I admit it. It was like the eerie music. I turned the eerie music up, so I was like, yeah, this is gonna scare me. Yeah, this is scary.
We had a good time
it
watching.
worked.
We had a good time watching streamers get to the jump scare bit as a dev team.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I was just, and the sad thing was I couldn't use any of my high level gear on the jump scare, so I couldn't like stop it from happening. I'm like, no, I'm high level. Let me do something about this jump scare. No. Oh,
You're the one that put yourself through that punishment by deciding to do Iron Man challenges and run around in nothing but white gear.
yeah. So that if you guys ever want a challenge to do in Stowe, make a brand new character, play the new mission with only white gear, and at the lowest level on elite difficulty. That will give you a scare. And
elite.
and if you die, you have to delete the character.
Oh man, I'm not that brave.
It is fun because you like generally you're gonna, if you die, you die, and it's the most intense. I tell you what, I might do if we finish early, I might attempt that this week, but we'll see. Right, let's move on. Questions. So Scott, this question is for you. You have a personal project called Shimmerleaf. Oh, I want to hear more about it. Do you find that your personal world building ever bleeds into your professional work for Star Trek?
Yeah. I have a lot of writing projects that no one is ever going to see because I write as a hobby. And so in my time at uni, I developed this kind of world building project called Shimmerleaf. Which I've not worked on in a very long time now, but it was my, at the time, kind of creative outlet for both my writing and my art. You know, when we get to work on professional stuff, I always think that we get hired for bringing our voices to the table, and part of our voice is that experience making our personal work. But we're not hired to put that personal work near the game, right? You know, we have to be quite disciplined and quite careful that we're not putting too much of that into a game or any product, right? Like, we are there to at the end of the day make a game make money, to put it kind of bluntly, right? Like that is our job in the eyes of, you know, who we're hired by. So we've got to be careful about it. But like, yeah, we definitely put a bit of ourselves into every bit of work that we make, I think. I think for me, the thing that I always I'm kind of excited by now that I have kind of an in with Stowe, is at some point I would, you know, love to write and work on some of my own Star Trek stories, because I've written fanfic.
Woohoo! Yeah, we've all done it.
I have written a lot of fanfic.
We've all done it. We've all done it.
Yeah. You know, I think that's the kind of exciting thing about getting to work on a game, is not the immediate being able to put, you know, aspects of your work into it. It's opening those doors in future to maybe get to work on something like that. That's the exciting bit for me.
That's amazing. I'm gonna admit something live on air that I haven't told anyone. Nova, you've never heard this. I wrote fanfic in my young age, and I wrote a fanfic about Q becoming captain of his own starship. Like,
that's a good premise.
Yeah.
So cool.
and I was so proud of it, because I just watched Voyager for the first time. I was just about to go off to uni, like really young, like, you know, sort of 18. There I am, and all the comments were like, "Q would never do this. It would never happen." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll bury this. This will never come out to the light of day." But I was so proud of it. Anyway, enough about my my terrible fanfic. Nova, you get to ask the next question.
I have for both of you, if you could go back and remaster any one asset in the game right now, which one would you pick?
Ooh.
Start with you, Adria.
Good question. We were talking a couple of weeks ago about Eye of the Storm. I believe it's in Pavo. I think this is 2020 or 2021, so it's not like old, but I remember that this mission has incredible maps, and we were talking about how cool it would be to add like different sky file, maybe some matter painting, and just keep improving it, because I feel like with a more modern pass, it will be very, very impactful. So definitely, yeah, Eye of the Storm. What
Good
about you, Jamie?
choice.
I'm gonna get my ship out of the way first because I'm obliged to have a ship. I would remaster the Imperial class Sovereign skin. I'm not going to talk about it too much because we'll get to it at some point. The kind of not ship asset I would want to remaster is I'd really like to see some, redoing some of the old kind of infrastructure assets like star bases and asteroid bases. Maybe like fleet star bases and stuff. I think those would look really good with some touch-ups. Because I think those kind of, background buildings, they're not hero assets, right? You're not flying a star base. But I think those are the things that make a world really feel kind of alive. So yeah, those kind of things for me.
Awesome. Guys, we are on phase 5, our final few questions. We have 30 questions in total, so we're almost at the end. So before we continue on, because this may actually be longer than I think it's going to be, but I just want to say thank you guys so much for taking the time to come and talk to us today, because you guys have been amazing. And
thank you for having us.
Thank you. And I do want to say, give this moment, if you guys have any projects you want to shout out on the show, please do let us know. We've already sort of mentioned your Shimmerleaf project, Scorp. So tell us about it, or anything you want to maybe shout out at all.
Oh God, yeah. To be honest, I don't really have any public-facing projects on the go. I have a Blue Sky. I would appreciate it if you give that a follow. I am at scorpiondesign.bluesky.social. But yeah, apart from that, I'm happy to just be making ships for you, to be honest.
I'll give you a second. I'm following you on Blue Sky.
Thank you. Adria?
Same. I don't think I have a specific project right now, but in case you guys didn't know, I also do oil painting. So I always share my work on Instagram. I'm Adri Alvarado Art there. So in case you want to follow, or in case you're interested in more, art pieces, I always share my work there. So yeah.
I remember there's this one piece that you did that always sticks out to me. It's this it's like this like bison creature.
Oh yeah.
That one. I
you
was
remember
like,
that one?
that just hits right for me.
I want to see these artworks now. Okay. As soon as stream, as soon as we go on live, send me your Blue Sky so I can follow you, so I can see these cool artworks. Right. So we are on to the final frontier. This is advice and sort of future. So Adria, I get the pleasure to ask you the first of these questions, which is, what is the most important skill a concept artist needs to have besides just being a good drawer?
I would say communication. I think as artists, it can sometimes be a bit challenging. I mean, it's always a bit difficult to develop that extroverted side, but it's incredibly important, especially when you're working with larger teams like we're doing now. Like open communication, it's very good and it's very healthy. So yeah, I would definitely say that's one of the most important skills aside from doing good art.
Yeah, I agree.
Fantastic. Nova, you get the next one.
Scorp, for a non-binary and aspiring artists that are looking to join or enter the game industry, what's the one piece of advice that you wish you'd have been told early on?
Yeah, well, thanks for asking. That's a very considerate question.
You're
I'm
welcome.
going to split it into 2 answers.
Sure.
Because I think that's how I can do it best. So for artists in general, my advice is talk to people. You are much more likely to find a job if people know that you exist, which sounds silly, but it's so easy to think that you're just going to get picked up by just people looking for you, and that's not going to happen. You need to reach out, speak to people you admire, and be friendly and professional. It's usually a lot easier to get in touch with people that you want to speak to than you think it is. Social media is a blessing and a curse. Just be, speak to them, say openly, hey, I want to work on this, and be honest and humble about your skills. Don't undersell yourself, but don't oversell yourself either. And then for kind of queer folk that are in the same spot, I thought about this a bit, and I can only kind of answer from my perspective, which is still quite junior. But I would say probably the most important thing you can do is just know that if you feel safe and if you feel able to, speak up for yourselves and for the people you work with. You're probably, if you're like me, when you first get a job, you're going to feel like, oh, I can't speak up, I'm going to get fired, I'm going to get, all this horrible stuff is going to happen. There are bad eggs out there, but most of the time, my experience is that that's not going to happen. Find the people that are going to look up for you, look out for you, and look out for them too. That's my advice.
Mhm.
That's perfect.
Good advice.
Infinite diversity in infinite combinations. Star Trek
Exactly.
101.
Yay.
Woohoo! Oh, thank you so much. Right, Adria. Actually, I feel like I'm skipping over Scorp. That was just such a good answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was.
I want to make sure
Beautiful
people aren't like,
answer.
oh, how dare you skip over Scorp's answer? It's really good. And I'm like, no, it's good. It's good. Thank you so much. Adria, this is your question. How do you stay inspired when you're working within the contrast of a very established 60-year-old IP?
Wow, yeah. Honestly, the fact that this is such a long-standing IP and we see it growing continuously, I feel like that's probably one of the main things that keeps us inspired. And projects like STO, we keep evolving, we keep telling new stories, we keep bringing new visuals. So, and as we said, even silly things like breaking, right, these art rules or IP rules, and as we were saying before. So I think those things really motivates us to keep pushing and to keep creating new things. Yeah, it's been fun.
And Scorp, what about you?
Sorry, could you say the question again, please?
Of course, I'm so sorry. That was I'm throwing this. This technically isn't for you, but I'm just gonna ask.
I got distracted realizing that I'd been kicked out for idling.
Oh no! I got the message like 5 minutes ago, and I started panicking, and I was like, no, and I noticed you despawned. And so the question was, how do you stay inspired when working on within the constraints of a very established 60-year-old IP?
Right. Yeah. Might be a bit of a cheesy answer. For me, it's the fact that I get to work with a really cool team. I'm very fortunate that I get along with pretty much everyone. I get to work with not just colleagues but with friends, and that really, when there are things that are getting me down, that's usually what keeps me going, is knowing that, like, yeah, there are rough times in the industry. There are Star Trek is a franchise that is sometimes difficult to come up with new things for, but I can shoot Pundus or Adria or whoever a message and just be like, and just get that little bit of like dopamine that kind of is like, oh yeah, actually now I have
Yeah.
ideas, right? Yeah, that's my cheesy friendship is.
Yeah,
magic.
definitely.
Hey.
Any
No,
job,
I agree.
any job.
It's so
where you
special working with people like you guys, the art team, like everyone. And I feel like, as I said before, as artists, there's definitely a big part of our personalities that's very similar. So it's very warm, I would say. Like, you usually, when you just join the industry, as Scorp said, you're like, you don't know what to expect. But it's always so refreshing to see that there are good people, good artists, and even better persons there. So that's also very big motivation for us, definitely. Yeah.
As a
any
wise
job
Oh, so you go Nova.
where any job where you can end up considering your coworkers as friends has got to make it that much
Right.
better. Has got to
Woohoo!
make it that much
Totally.
sweeter, more fun to come to work every day and see those faces.
Yeah.
I'll not see their faces in
Definitely.
our case, but see the slash.
Hear the sound of their voice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As a famous animation once said, friendship is magic. I totally didn't watch My Little Pony at university just because John Delancey was in it. What? No.
I respect that. I respect that. Love that.
Right, Nova, you get to ask the next question.
Yeah, Scorp, if you were given a blank check to design a ship for a brand new Trek series, what would it look like?
And how much would it cost?
Oh, I could put any price I want it. I think if you give me a blank check, you'd never see me again because I would never stop making changes to it. I'd just be like, no, it's not done yet. I was a really big fan of working on some of the ships we did for the Enterprise bundle, where we took alien ships and made them look Federation. So I've always been really curious to see what a Federation bird of prey would look like. So that's my answer. I would just be spend as long as I could making that idea work as best as I could make it.
Oh yeah, that sounds
Okay,
intriguing.
now I want that.
Well, maybe if I'm annoying enough about it, I'll get to do it on Star.
Be annoying.
Bird of prey.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Okay, and I.
And actually, you know what?
What?
It-
What?
It is. Well, I imagine you can think of so many different things if you're just given free reign to be able to do anything that you wanted.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's something we can all do together. Okay. I want you to design for me with 3 words, an enterprise. Okay. Like,
3
but,
words.
and when I say that, I want, like, is it big? Is it small? Is it medium size? That's the first one. Like, how many nacelles does it have? You can give me a number. And how many saucers does it separate into? There you go. So I'll start with Scorp. How big is this enterprise?
Okay, all right. So first thing I'm gonna ask is where is this the next Enterprise?
Yeah. So this is Starfleet Academy era. So sort of 32nd century.
Okay, big. Big.
Big and Enterprise J. Enterprise J looking.
I guess the J was before that. I kind of don't like it being that big. But smaller than Enterprise J.
Smaller than the J. Okay, smaller than J.
Smaller than J. I really like the Athena's nacelles. So
They're so cool.
probably make it something that's a bit more kind of Art Nouveau, like the Athena is, I guess.
Ooh.
Is there anything like fun I'd give it? Oh, that's such a difficult question. Like, I get, because that's the thing, right? Is I think that each new Enterprise needs something that makes it new,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
It's got to have a, you know, you've had the fat one, you've had the long one with the Sovereign, you've had the two necks with the Odyssey. I think.
Quad Athena nacelles. Sorry, I just saw. Well,
Add more, no,
Oh
not
my
add more
goodness.
nacelles, no. I think I've always been really interested. I don't know how this would look in design. I've always been really interested to see what Star Trek would do if it went outside the galaxy. So I would say my unique Enterprise feature would be that it has an engine that can take it through the galactic barrier, and it can go and see other galaxies.
so it'll actually be a universe class.
Yeah, something like that.
Love it. Okay, Adria, same for you. Design me an Enterprise, big, small.
Oh. Oh, I don't know. It's such a tough question. Definitely, I would love a big Enterprise. My favorites are D.
Yeah.
And the Enterprise D is my favorite.
Gotta love the D.
So yeah, definitely something to inspire it. But yeah, well, I'll get back to that once I start designing ships. Hopefully, I can come up with something cool.
that is totally fine. Nova, we made
All right. How about the interior of the ship? How would it look?
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, design us the interior of the Enterprise that we just got designed by Scorp. So you know it's quite not quite as big as the Enterprise J. Still got that Art Nouveau look, very sort of Athena-esque. What does the inside of it look like?
Right. That's such an interesting question. Corp, actually, what would you envision for this? Because I definitely need your input. It's your show, but
I like the idea that we see Starfleet in the future as kind of embracing kind of like green buildings, right? Like we see a lot of walls that have like vegetation baked into them, right? So I think
wow, I love that.
I also love that too.
I love that. We need to make a concept. Let's put it in the schedule.
Have you guys seen the Enterprise? I go on about Enterprise a lot, but there was an alternate version of the art for the J, which was literally where the whole inside of it was just forest, and it was like you can. It's like the outside of the J becomes like see-through, and all you see is just like just forests and forests and forests. And it just reminded me of there's an old science fiction film that my dad used to make me watch all the time called Silent Running, and it just reminded me of there's a ship in Silent Running which has all these little pods with little forests in. I was like, oh, it sort of reminds me of that. Anyone in chat know Silent Running? Does it make me old? Because it was my dad that showed it to me. So
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
It's all right. It's all right. It's fine. My dad was just a nerd too, so I saw things. Right. We have. No, wait, I haven't asked Nova. Nova, Design Me an Enterprise. They've done it. You got to do one too. They've just.
Wow.
Go on, Design Me an Enterprise. Go on, big, small.
Oh my goodness. You medium sized.
Medium sized. Okay, how many nacelles has it got?
Yeah, it's probably would still have 2.
2 nacelles. Okay, right.
Like have 2 nacelles.
What special thing does your new Enterprise have that no other Enterprise has?
No, Vinny, not 12 nacelles.
12 nacelles. just like lined in nacelles, rounded in order, like on a birthday cake, on the top of the nacelle, and it's like almost a jellyfish. No, we're to stop now.
Special design.
Yeah, unique to your design, Nova.
I don't know.
There is a reason that designing ships usually
and now we know. And there you go, guys. Can we have a hand for our devs that actually know what they're doing? See, and now you've had an example of why these guys get paid to do what they do, because they're awesome.
Wow, thanks.
Sorry, Nova, we had to be guinea pigs.
Yeah. This was simply because of what I did to you earlier.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right, so...
And you weren't thinking of that whatsoever.
I wasn't, no, 100%. Right, this is sadly our 30th and final question of the interview, and this is for both of you.
Go with more questions.
Well, if I'll tell you what, very quickly, if the chat has some questions they'd like to ask, feel free to put some in. But this is our final question on our very sophisticated looking question board, which I'm very proud of our formatting team. I'd say I did this, but Kat did all of this. She made it look pretty and stuff.
I wondered if she had done that, because it looked like it might have been something similar to what we had.
Yeah, it looks far prettier than what I wrote. Right, so here, this is the final question that we've come up with, which is, in one word, how would you describe the visual future of Star Trek Online? Adria, we'll start with you, if that's okay.
In one word.
In one word, the visual future of Star Trek Online.
Okay. I'm going to say evolving. I'm going to go with evolving.
Good.
Oh, great word.
Okay.
Wow.
You can't steal that word now. You have to come up with a different word. Scorpio, different word now. Can't use it.
And do you want to explain it first, Adria, or?
What? Sorry?
Do you want to explain your word first? Or
evolving. I definitely see it evolving. We, as Jamie said, we have been a couple of transitions. The team grew a lot. A lot of us are still learning, obviously, from people like Thomas and Jeremy. So I feel like right now we have a great mix and an amazing balance to propose new stuff and at the same time keep STO's identity. So yeah, I think we're evolving as a game.
And it kind of fits the in-universe as well, right? Like humanity constantly trying to better themselves.
Right.
That fits really nicely.
Exactly.
So is your word better? Are you using the word better? Is that your word? Come on, you got to think of your word. You got to tell us what your word is.
My word is hopeful.
Yeah, perfect. That's
nice.
great.
Yes. That's a
very
good one.
classically Star Trek, right? Like Gene Roddenberry's future is bright and colorful, and I think we live in such a bleak time that we try
Right.
and make the future of humanity as we see it in Stowe to be kind of a best case of where we are now. And that, for me, that means we have diversity in our characters, and we have, if you think about how these ships and these places are made in universe, it's about thinking about how the many alien races of the Federation have pooled their knowledge into making something that is greater than any of them could just make it by themselves. So yeah, hopeful for me.
Woohoo! That's perfect. Thank you
Yeah.
guys so
Good
much.
choices.
So that was all our questions. So for the last little part of the show, I thought I'd do something fun with you guys. And I talked a little bit about early in the show as a little tease for you guys. But obviously you guys worked on the latest mission, which is my favourite mission for being scared. And I talked a little bit about earlier where I create a new character and I see how long we survive before we die. So I thought we could have a little chat about the mission and like what went into the build creating the concept art for this. Like what are the stages of? I guess like, do you guys get sent the script and then you sort of work from there? Like where do you guys go from there? And while we're discussing that, I'm going to create a random character to maybe pass away.
Fed or Katie, James?
Fed character. So we'll start with you, Adria. What's the process of creating a mission like this?
From the concept side, I think it depends on a bunch of things. We usually have to, well, it depends on a lot of departments, right? So it has to have narrative involved, design involved, obviously art direction involved. So it depends on a lot of things. The amount of concept can be different depending on the episode and the mission. Sometimes we're recycling stuff, sometimes we're crafting stuff from scratch. So it's not always the same, but I would say that in kind of like backing up what I was saying before about keeping a neat process, we usually create a backlog, right, of all the stuff that we want to do. And we say, okay, we're doing, I don't know, 2 environments, we're doing, I don't know, space concept, we need 10 props, maybe 10 guns. So it almost starts like that all the time. And only after we start crafting the concepts is that we start deciding the direction, like the visuals. So it's I think it's a long process. It's obviously open to collaboration as well with the rest of the departments. And I also think it's like very organic because even though we do try to be respectful of the stages, things change all the time, right? You might have different needs or requirements or technical issues or limitations sometimes. So you kind of need to find your way around that and come up with something that everyone likes. So that's a very generic way to explain it, but yeah, that's a bit of what we do.
That's so cool. So how long is this process? Like obviously, from sort of getting that initial information to creating the thing. What's our timeline?
In concept, it definitely takes more than a couple of months. That doesn't mean we're doing only the concept for the mission every week, but it flows, right? Like sometimes we need to focus on ships, like Jamie's working on ships. Sometimes we're working on only content for the mission. So it I would say it varies definitely, but we could say more than a couple of months per episode.
Very,
Yeah,
very
we
cool.
usually in concept, we're usually a good at least a few months out before we're releasing something. For ships, it's usually I'm working on ships now that are going to release 6 months from now, so something like that. So yeah, we really do try to have a pretty big buffer zone.
Yeah, it's always good. Yeah, exactly. Things that you tend to do closer to the release, I would say probably key art, right? Because you need to have almost all the assets done. Like how does this character look, right? Which, I don't know, environment we're featured in the key art. So everything has kind of like its own process. But yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, Scorp, what is your favorite ship that's out of the latest bundle? Actually, because obviously you were talking about the Enterprise theme bundle. What ship am I taking into this mission?
Okay, gotta ask a question. Favorite original ship or favorite new skin?
Favorite new skin. Go on, go. Favorite new
That's
skin.
a harder one to answer. Now I either say, look how amazing Hector did, or I say, my favorite skin is one I liked. Or I think I'm gonna say the tower skin for the Kimari, which was one of Hector's, which was actually the first one of these ships we did that was a kind of alien ship with Federation aesthetics. So I got to see Hector design this, and then I kind of followed suit, working on the Sonak for the Vulcan ship. But this was just awesome to see, because this is an idea that I'd wanted to see made real when I was a player, right? I wanted to see, like, oh, wouldn't it be awesome if we had a Federation skin for some of these alien ships? And so I got to see Hector putting it together. So yeah.
Perfect. That's that ship we're going to use for our little run. So the concept, I sort of spoke a little. Oh, sorry, you go, Nova. Apologies.
Are you using a T6 ship?
I am using, because this is mostly ground anyway. So.
Okay.
I probably will die pretty much straight away. The hope is I don't. The hope is I don't. But yeah. I've sort of lost faith in my own abilities.
I'm going to join you.
Are you going to join me? Okay.
Yes, I made basically a throwaway character.
Nice. Scorp, would you also like to join me? To see if we.
I've not made a new character, so I'm gonna leave.
No, that's fine. Well,
just wants to watch us.
Just wants to watch and see if we can survive. I'm doubtful. So basically, as we go through this mission, my thought process is that we can maybe ask you about like the concept art throughout, if that's okay with you guys for the next sort of.
Sure. I'm gonna kind of shut up for this because I work on ships pretty much exclusively. So
as we're flying around, you can tell me about the ship that I'm flying, and tell me the kind of things that go into building it. Here we go. I'm taking all that off. There we go. Nova, X up for me if that's okay.
I'm not even sure if I've got the channel ready. There we go.
You got the channel ready? You got it?
Yeah. I just had to find where it was located.
Perfect. I named my character after Sarah.
I randomized everything.
I randomized everything apart from calling it Sarah, though she's going to be annoyed at me because I spelled it Sarah without a H, so she's going to be annoyed at me.
You didn't put the H on
I didn't. I pressed random and it just popped. Oh no, she's annoyed at me now. It's Sarah. I'm sorry. Yes, it's Sarah. You're right.
Sitting there glaring at you, isn't she?
She is, yes. Right. So here we go. We're going to go into Curse.
Count on my support and guidance.
I'm just going to put the difficulty up to Elite so everyone can see. We are going to try not to die. This is and Nova. Remember, if your character dies, your character dies.
It's probably getting deleted anyways.
It's going to be deleted anyways. It's fine. Right, here we go.
Yeah, I just tossed stuff together and on it and whatever.
Right, here we go. We're going in. We're going in. Like I said, I really do like what you guys have done with the art for this mission. I think it's really, really cool. I love the Midas array with the sort of the Chimerian effect on it. What was the concept for that?
Yeah, there was concept, and then I think, and Hina as well, right? Kunduz also did, I think, the 3D part of it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that was fun. And it's exactly like it was in concept, so that's the coolest part of it.
It looks so pretty. So the sort of the beam effect, was that in concept art too? Like, would you guys have like come up with a sort of the beam effect going on, or was that sort of added later? Sort of like
It was probably added later.
that's added
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, I think we were just trying to match
hmm
what we see in Voyager, right? I think we see it with the 3 like Death Star beams. Don't remember honestly, but yeah, I think we were just trying to match that and make it look Chimera-ified.
hmm
Well, you guys have done well. I think it looks. I love the little details with like the. Okay, this is a question. So, when you guys were coming up with the Chimerans, because I think they're such a cool, they're just such a nice addition to Stowe. I've been really like loving the sort of the Borginess of them. We'll call it that, but also the sort of unique pinkiness and the purples and stuff like that. What the color palette and stuff like that. How did you guys come up with that, or is that like sort of later in development you sort of designed colors and things?
I think Hector developed the first versions of them. So we already had a color palette set, and it was amazing because, as you said, this like extremely like saturated pink and red, and it looks very organic. But at the same board, it's amazing. So yeah, I think the colors were already set once we joined, but we really did try to use them and pretty much replicate that in all of the Chimeran things and props that we wanted to show in the mission. hmm
I remember, I remember we kind of explored a lot. Well, I say we. I was working on ships, but you and Gok explored a lot of the colors, working on the environments. So I think that's where the kind of really bright pink look came for them. I remember one of the things that I mentioned is that there was one point in the stage where we had some of the Chimeran ships in the game. And I said, like, this pick is really cool, but it looks really close to the like neon pink missing texture color. So you nearly got like untextured look. Like they won, but they kind of looked like they had the bright pink era texture on them.
Hey! The pink vanity shield is the coolest vanity shield. It's my favorite.
If you haven't seen James's Etherean Harmony with the pink vanity shield, wow.
No.
It's so pretty. It looks so nice with the pink vanity shield. I don't know why I love that vanity shield so much. It's just so
pink.
cool.
What more reason do you need?
Exactly. You know, Legally Blonde says it best.
Full of charm and whimsy.
Exactly. Though I realise I probably should actually equip some weapons, so when I go down to the ground, I don't immediately die, which is probably going to happen anyway, guys. But hey, I do want there to be some slight survival in this. Otherwise, this whole concept's not going to be that great. But yeah,
you picked an engineer.
Well, I wanted some survivability, Nova.
I picked a science officer.
Well, there we go. So we got double survivability.
I've got a healing kit module.
Okay. This question is for you, Scorp. The Borg Chimeran Borg cube. Please tell me about this. Like, what was?
Again, this is a Hector design, so I don't know what I can tell you. I know the idea was to make them feel corrupted in a different way to the Borg originally. Like, we kind of had a discussion about how the Borg are 50% order and 50% chaos, right? That's the kind of prime Borg. And then the one side of the spectrum, you have the Ethereans, which are 100% order, 0% chaos. And so the Chimerans are kind of the other side of that spectrum, where they are 100% chaos, 0% order. So that's why we, if you look at the Chimeran ships, they're not just perfect, cubes and spheres like normal Borg ships are. They're kind of weird, and they've got extra bits on them. The idea is that they're not embodying any like efficient shape anymore. They're just kind of reaching out to assimilate whatever and however they can, and just adding bits on. As they get more, biomatter or whatever.
That's so cool. I as soon as we saw that first short mission, where we see the Chimeran effect on that cube, it was just like, I was like, what is going on? And I love the way it's been teased narratively, but the art, I mean, this is a great mission for it, because it's just like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like Halo or played Halo, but I love how the sort of Chimerian sort of infection looks very much like sort of that flood spores from the Halo game. But I really love it, sort of including
it was kind of a mix of flood and Tyranids, I think, from Warhammer.
Nice.
Was the kind of main inspiration for a lot of the Chimeran stuff.
Oh, that's a good point. Like when you are having influences in your art, like, do you guys, obviously when it's Star Trek, obviously you have the Star Trek stuff that's pre-established, but things like this, do you guys go to like other video games and like look at things? Like what do you do when in the concept stage for things like this? Like now in the interior, how would you concept this interior? That, you know, I suppose it's just a Federation starbase, but what goes into sort of bringing the Midas array to life?
Your idea,
Adria,
I think it's
Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the balance, as I mentioned before, with the environment artists as well, because I do believe that, especially here, like when you're playing a specific location and map, they usually tend to guide us, if that makes sense. So they would say, "Hey, I want to, I don't know, add some sort of chimeran, corrupted props and walls here, but I don't know exactly where." So our job is to make that happen and to make it visually cohesive and obviously interesting. But I do would say that it's like a collaboration almost all the time. So it's not arbitrary. It's more like, you know, kind of like listening to their needs, right, and what they are requesting from us. So it's a lot of fun every time we have the chance to collaborate.
I love it.
In terms of like looking at inspiration, yeah, like the kind of one of the main challenges we face in Stowe is making the world of Star Trek, which is kind of based in this very retro futurism look, and is all of its aesthetics are inspired by practically made models. So our challenge is to kind of bring that up to, you know, kind of not modern standards, not to say it was bad, but to give it a look that feels more up to date. So yeah, we totally do look at a lot of modern, you know, we look at what's kind of best in class. We look at what is considered kind of modern sci-fi design. That, you know, our ships being black and white is no accident. It's to kind of ape, you know, Mass Effect and the Normandy, right? We're kind of taking that as the trendsetter for what clean modern sci-fi looks like, and saying, well, this is what it looks like when we apply it to Star Trek.
Yeah.
And for me,
I think we get differences, right, Corp? Like from pretty much everywhere. I remember for the specific one, I was talking with Gokin and Phil, and I was like, "Have you played our RE7 or 6? You have these blobs that explode in your face." They're like, "Ew, nasty." Okay, let's do that. So, I think we really got a reference from like a bunch of places. It's very important to kind of like keep yourself updated with that. It's a big part of it.
I love that. I love finding out that, you know, the Normandy, because me and my friends are all looking at it like, this looks so much like the Normandy. And one of my friends has a Mass Effect character, and it's like, I have the Normandy. I'm like, you have the Normandy. It does look. It looks so good. And Mass Effect is like, it's such a great game. I love that.
Yeah.
I'll stop talking about being nerd.
I'll play this episode.
Right, so here we are in the sort of interior. We got this really cool.
Still going.
We're still alive. We haven't died yet.
Great! Wow.
Admiring the interior and looking at all that detail that went into it.
So the concept for this corridor in particular, like what was the sort of draft when you guys were working on this? Was it like creepy? Did they just say we want a creepy interior with biomass over it, or what was that, Adria? What did they ask when they were like, how did you design this?
We were working first in some sort of progressive way, so we would have a bunch of screenshots right from the very beginning of the mission, and as you progress, you have to find more tendrils and more growths, and just like the big presence of the chimerans. So for this one, I do remember that we had the environment with the red lights, and I was just like pasting all the drawings that I had on top because I had like a bunch of gooey chimera and stuff, and I was just like pasting them, and it ended up looking quite cool. Environment really did a great job on this one.
No
Yeah.
argument here. It really really is really cool. I do have a question. When doing concept, did you work on the concept for the Chimerians themselves? Like, I really love these really unique designs. So, what
Oh,
was the
they're
process?
amazing.
What
I
was the?
think Hector did. Yeah. I feel like the creator group, if I remember correctly, was already completely or
Yeah.
almost fully designed by Hector once we joined. He did amazing. He's really a great artist. So we were kind of like following that style for the rest, right? For environments, for the props, all these things that are corrupted. We kind of like wanted to take that the same language and apply it. Yeah.
It's amazing. There we go.
Love the Velociraptor drones.
They're my
so
favorite.
Yeah.
I want an event, and I want that as the reward because obviously, we have that pet in
Write that down.
Stowe.
Write that down.
Write down, go do it. They're just so cool, and it's just like, and it's the fact they have like the human face, and it's just it's like it is terrifying, but also like that is so cool.
Like one of the things that we kind of had to balance here is, we wanted this to feel kind of tense and moody, and kind of have inspiration from kind of classic sci-fi horror. We also had to be careful not to push it too far, right? Like, I think Star Trek is a franchise that is kind of at its core kind of light and I'm saying this as you're going through
the terror maze.
Yeah.
But it's like, I kind of imagine that when we do our next episode of this arc, I imagine that it's probably not going to be quite as as kind of gory as this, right? Like, we've got to strike that balance of making it feel hopeful. Like when you have a series of television, it's common that you have a high stakes episode, then a low stakes episode, and it repeats in that pattern, so you never get burnt
Good
out.
rhythm.
So, I think we're probably going to lean a little bit less into the nightmare.
I'm kind of ashamed because I've been really enjoying this look at Stowe, because obviously, Stowe throughout the years, I mean, has changed, and I've been really enjoying you guys have done a fabulous job, the whole team, on the artwork, and the other devs on the gameplay, of making this a truly different Stowe experience, and I think you guys should be all super proud of how great it's turned out, especially the TFO. I know that some people are like, oh, it's too hard, but it is literally my go-to. Like, I want a challenge to do with my friends. Let's play this together. Oh, here comes jump. Got me.
I think, I don't want to speak too much on behalf of the design team, but I think that has definitely been a pretty big push from some of our newer designers to do things that are a bit less expected, right? I think Stowe is quite a formulaic game, and it comes from me as someone that has played it for God knows how many hours, but it is, right? And so we want content that can break that up when people want it. I think, kind of speaking a bit personally about my kind of ethos when it comes to design and games like this, is Stowe has a formula that people expect from it, right? We have a core audience that knows what Stowe is like, and is around for that. So we've got to be quite careful in what we decide to do differently, whether it's art or gameplay or anything, that we're not gonna end up alienating that audience, right? But so yeah, the point I'm getting at is that anything new and different is kind of something that we want to not be not disrupt what people expect, right?
No, of course.
Mhm.
Adria, could you tell us a little bit about this room, this particular boss room here, with the sort of like the warp core in the middle? And oh, I'm gonna die. 1 sec. Ah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But yeah, can you tell us a little bit about the
No,
sort
because
of...
I'm watching. I'm watching you as well. I'm like, oh.
We both had to run for that.
Yeah, I was frozen for a moment. Yeah, I think this was the last room that required concept, specifically because of the amount of tendrils and the amount of growth that you had. And obviously, the main piece was the core, right? Like it's at the very center. So we kind of like wanted to start building the things around it instead of just placing things randomly. We kind of like wanted to keep the main focus in the center of the room. So yeah, I do remember that this was probably the last mid piece that we did before handing this to PFX and environment. So it was a very fun one.
That's cool. So sorry, apologies. What were you saying, Scott?
Please.
Oh no. I was just asking. So when you were doing the concept, were you thinking that it's growing out from the warp core, like they've infected the warp core and it's growing out from that, or what was the sort of thought process for the sort of the sort of concept of the room, I guess, like what or was it just we want to we're going to make it look sort of spooky and gross? What was the thought
I
process?
think it's definitely a mix of both, I would say, especially in this type of content that it's like this gray line between bio horror, survival horror. Like you obviously need to make everything look scary, but it still needs to make sense. So we did want it to show and make the player feel that the room was like the whole thing is infected, right? Like the core is infected. So I hope that's what you guys felt.
No,
when you're
I
playing this
100% got that. 100% got that.
That's amazing. Yeah.
There's a bit of a like extra behind the scenes. I remember when we were playtesting this, we actually ended up shrinking that boss room by about like 50%.
Really?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like the
Yeah,
original
I remember
version of
that.
was kind of like this big cavernous open space.
Right.
But I think Phil, was like, this doesn't really feel like, it doesn't have the kind of
Yeah.
vibe that we want. It doesn't have the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And
I think they tried to fill it right with some props
Yeah.
first.
Yeah,
And then it was
yeah.
like, no, it's too big, just shrink it. Yeah.
But like, yeah, like when we're working on the game, not everything is worked out 100% in concept. Sometimes you gotta feel what a level is like to play and then make those adjustments on the fly. And kind of the same with chips. Like I think I do a pretty thorough job on my concepts, but I definitely don't get every detail in, and that's because we're doing these concepts usually so far in advance that we can't always accurately predict everything that is going to be required of the final design. So a lot of the kind of final decisions and the kind of decisions about how big something is, where certain details are going to go, that very often goes on our 3D artists, for ships, Ramon and Pundus. For environments, that goes on to Shawshank and Corby. It's we try and give direction, but we don't always manage to get everything in. Yeah, like Adria said before, it's a really collaborative process. So we have to be constantly, if we see something that's like, oh, that's not what we pitched it like, or hey, last minute, we need somewhere to put a gun or an effect on this thing. Concept usually will be around to do quick like drawings and to offer like you know, okay, this needs to be fixed. Here's how we'd fix it.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So
I do believe that, like, as concept artists, you really need to be prepared to change a lot of things and drop a lot of things, and that's usually what the concept department is always used for, right? So you don't need to try or test things in 3D or in the engine. Like, it's, you need to do quick drawings, and you also need to not get attached to them, right? Because things might change, and they probably will keep changing. So yeah, they definitely need to be very flexible when you're working in concept.
in the situation that you described there, where the room was too big when they created it, do they then have to go back to concept, back to you guys to make it smaller, or do you just how would you scale it down in a situation like that? Well, how did you guys scale it down? It's probably a better question.
So we no, they didn't come back to us.
Okay.
that would take a lot of time. We build our environments out of what are called kits, which are basically they're modular corridors, right? We're not modeling each new room from scratch. We're taking from a kit of, you know, cross sections and then straight bits of corridor and then curves and, you know, big rooms. Think like kind of Fallout 4 base building, that kind of thing, or like No Man's Sky base building. That's kind of how we put together a lot of these environments, and then the environment artists go in and dress those things in props and you know, in this case, a lot of kind of goo to break up the monotony and make it feel less like you're just walking through the same, you know, 5 or 6 different spaces that have been moved around or, you know, changed up. So for resizing stuff, it's not actually a massive deal, right? They just kind of move the walls in. I'm saying it's not a massive deal. I'm not.
They're all in the chat like,
so...
well, speak for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, that's why we build modularly, is to make those kind of changes as easy as can be. Not to say they're always easy, but so that we can be iterative when we're designing stuff like that.
Here's a question for you, Scorp. Obviously, you've been a Star Trek Online player for, you know, a long time. You know, when you first started playing, was the Forge, map mission creation still a thing when you started playing?
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
Did that inspire you at all to become an artist?
Okay, my confession is that
I
was too stupid to know how to work the Foundry. I had no idea how that worked. I started playing in 2013, 2014, so I think it wasn't too long after that the Foundry got shut down.
Yeah.
But I do remember it. I do definitely remember it.
It's all right.
I have the Foundry Tribble, I think. On
what? That's cool. So I started playing when Stowe went free to play, and and I was my friend was just like, hey, there's a Star Trek game and you should come play it. And I was like, and I was a kid, I'm like, I like Star Trek. I just saw Star Trek 2009 and I like that film. I'm gonna go play Star Trek Online. Yeah, okay. I admit I hadn't watched much Star Trek apart from 2009 and Enterprise at that point. And then I was like, hey, wait a minute, why isn't the Kelvin Enterprise in the game? Why am I got at this original series Enterprise? I'm not excited about this. And then eventually I got told by everyone that you're an idiot and you should just watch more Trek, which I did. And I watched DS9. That was the next one I watched.
Good choice.
I absolutely loved it.
Excellent choice.
And then I fell in love with Voyager, actually, because Voyager and me are the same age now. It came out in 1996, and I'm going to be 30 in 1990 on the 30th of May.
My condolences.
Yeah, I'm crossing over. I'm getting old, everyone. So we by the way, Nova, for that 30th birthday stream, we're doing a Voyager theme stream, just so you know. We were going to fly in Forever classes, just so you know.
Okay.
Right, we are almost at the end of the mission and almost at the end of our interview. So, guys, you have been absolutely amazing. I'm surprised we survived this.
I'm surprised you survived.
Yeah, you're doing great. I can believe it.
If we die in the next 5 seconds, though, I'm going to be generally upset.
You know what? I did not realize about these the little toxic.
They're the thing that killed me. They're the thing that killed me.
Hurt.
They are literally the thing that killed me when we did this, because we did this before, and we got to this part of the mission, and the little yellow things are the thing that killed me, and I was generally upset. I was like, no.
I had not had a problem before when I played this, on the main character that is completely maxed out on everything.
You didn't have that problem then.
No, didn't even realize it.
And I think this character just lived. Guys,
Yeah.
we lived. We did it.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yes.
Oh.
I really didn't think that was going to happen.
I didn't think so either, but it's just you guys being here that it literally 100%. So I just want to say a huge, massive thank you to you guys for taking the time out of your evenings. I know it's really late for you, Adria, and just come to talk to us. I'll read the rest of my script now. So that does wrap it up for episode 168 of Accalade Hunter. Before we go, I want to remind you about our sister show, P1 Live, which broadcasts every Saturday to bring you the latest Star Trek Online and Priority 1 Armada news.
And don't forget to follow our various channels on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to be notified about our next show.
And if you'd like to join us in-game, don't forget to join the in-game chat channel /channel_join space Priority 1, all one word, and then hit the enter key.
Are you interested in joining the Priority 1 Armada and being part of an active community? Then simply head over to PriorityOneArmada.com to sign up. We have multiple Federation and KDF fleets for you to start your adventure as part of the Priority 1 Armada.
This episode of Priority 1 Armada Live would not be possible. Priority Armada Accalade Hunter, that's a different show. Wouldn't be possible without the incredible support of our community patrons through patreon.com. Check out our Patreon page, see all the benefits we offer, and the thank you packages we have available for each tier. You can add your support at patreon.com/Priority1Armada. It's your support that keeps us going.
And speaking of Patreon, special thanks to our Patreon supporters like Wily Coyote, Sire, Teacher Guy, Emergen, Gojira, and Hyperhydra.
Before we go, I'd like to say a very special thank you to our artist, Jason Smith, and our website designer, Vice Admiral Sum.
Also, thank you, James, for being our community manager with assistance from Gojinx.
When he remembers to put the tweets up, what?
Oh, wow. Way to throw your fellow social media.
No. Gojinx does it. I was talking about me at the beginning for getting to put the thing on Blue Sky.
Okay.
No, Gojinx is perfect. I'm talking about me.
Alrighty.
Gojinx is amazing. I want to clarify that. You can clip that. Gojinx is amazing. There you are. I'd like to say a very special thank you to my co-host Nova for joining me, and of course my amazing guests today, Adria, and of course Scorp. You guys are so cool, and I do hope we get to chat again at some point, because it's just been so lovely to have you on the show. Thank you so much, both of you, for taking the time.
This was fun. I enjoyed it.
I had so much fun.
It was. Thank you so much for having us.
No, thank you. Like literally, you can't see it, but I've got a huge grin on my face, just like because I'm just so like, it's been so good.
Probably hear it.
You can hear it in my voice, just the excitement of it. Anyway, that's professionalism, James. And finally, of course, a big professionalism. I don't know what professionalism is. And finally, of course, a big thank you to you, the viewers, because without you, none of this would be possible. So until next week, take care, live long and prosper, and goodbye. We are going to do a little quick raidie, spreading the love to some fellow Stowe players. Let's just quickly see who else is playing some Star Trek Online. Star Trek Online. Who's playing Star Trek Online? That person's playing Star Trek Online. Oh, Kirk. They must be they go there. Oh, they're not accepting raids. Curse you, Kirk. Kirk. There we go. That was my terrible Khan impression, which isn't very good. There we go. Star Trek Online. Oh, Dark Moon Consortium's online. They always accept our raids. Yay! They're accepting our raid. Guys, thank you so much. Scorp, Adria, you guys are amazing. Thank you. Chat, you're amazing. Nova, you're amazing. And I shall see, hopefully, you guys next week for another exciting episode of Accalade Hunter. Until then, live long and prosper. Bye, guys.
Have a great day.
Bye. Thank you.